In this video, we are going to be solving example 4.6 on page 90 of the AP Physics textbook. This problem is called The Stranded Explorers. A plane drops a package of supplies to a party of explorers. If the plane is traveling horizontally at 40 meters per second and is 100 meters above the ground, where does the package strike the ground relative to the point at which it is released? Let's start by visualizing this problem. Here's the ground. And here's my lovely plane. And if the package is released, it'll make a trajectory something like that. And that is 100 meters. And let's draw our stranded explorers. Help us, we're stranded. Basically, we want to find out where the package will land so that the explorers can go and get the package. Another thing you want to do when you're doing projectile motion problems is figure out whether it is a projectile launched at an angle or a horizontally launched projectile. In this case, it is a horizontally launched projectile. So we want to figure out where the package strikes the ground relative to the point at which it is released. So we know relative in the y direction, so what we want to figure out is this x distance. What else do we know? Well, we know the initial horizontal velocity, and we know that the initial y velocity is going to be 0. So it looks to me like if we can figure out how long it takes the package to fall this vertical distance, and then we can figure out how far it'll land horizontally. So this is pretty similar to the horizontally launched projectile problems we're doing in class. We want to know t. To do that, we want to use our second kinematic. So YF is going to be 0, the ground. YI is going to be 100, that's where the plane starts. VIY, or the initial speed in the vertical direction, is going to be 0, so that term is going to go away. The acceleration in the y direction is negative 9.8. So once we plug in our numbers, our expression will look like this. If we solve for t, we will end up with the square root of 100 over 4.9, and if we solve that, we get 4.52 seconds. So in the vertical direction, it takes 4.52 seconds for the package to reach the ground. That will also be the case for the horizontal direction. If the package is traveling for 4.52 seconds, and we know its speed in the horizontal direction, we can figure out where it hits in the horizontal direction. So remember our 9th grade equation. Speed is equal to distance over time. We want distance in the horizontal direction. If we solve that equation for distance, we get x equals vx times time, so speed times time. Our speed is 40. We just figured out our time. And we end up with 180.7 meters. So at 180.7 meters, that's where the package will land. There are other variations of this type of problem. Sometimes you have to figure out how fast the plane would be traveling. Sometimes you have to figure out how far above the ground the plane will be. But in general, these are the steps for solving this type of problem.